So that was what was it? Corridors of Time, Ocean Palace, and World Revolution from Chrono Trigger, the DS version, which really cool because they actually had Mitsuda completely like remaster the soundtrack for that version of the game. Like if you play the GBA versions of Final Fantasy, the music is very crusty and MIDI sounding, but the Chrono Trigger DS port music is perfect. It sounds like it sounds like it was reformatted to work better on the DS, and it sounds as good as the original SNES version, if not better in a few spots. Like the sound, it's not actually the same exact songs. It's like slightly changed, but gotta finish that soon. Did make a little progress yesterday. Nice. It's not too long of a game, but also, I gotta touch on a few things here real quick, and you already know it's coming. Well, first, this week, some shit happened this week. First and foremost, Rooster Teeth is being completely disbanded, which is very weird. They were a big part of my like entertainment back in the like mid 2000s. They were one of the first like online like let's play, and well, they were the first let's play. Yeah, they were the let's play channel. They were the first like machinima like online cartoon people that got really popular back in the day, and then they grew into this big company that did let's plays. They had animated shows. Now, and yeah, you remember me talking about them. Fun fact, and this is kind of embarrassing. The reason I quit my old job in food service was because I was like, I could do what they're doing. I stupidly thought, so I quit and tried to do that for a while, and it didn't work out. And then I tried applying to them directly, and that didn't work either. But anyway, it sucks. The past, I would say 4 or 5 years, they've gone down a really bad path. They couldn't go back. They couldn't come back from. Namely, there was a lot of harassment and discrimination stuff coming out about them. Typical industry stuff nowadays. It sucks. They did what they could to improve, but it's clear the channel's been going downhill for a while. But what sucks even more is the fact that it didn't even go down because of their own reasons. It went down because back in the day, they got bought out and they were owned by Warner. And if you know what Warner's doing right now, they're fucking everything up for everyone. So they just announced this week that everything under their banner is just getting gutted, and that they're going to try to find new like IP owners for like their shows. And I'm just thinking, like, this is ridiculous that this little company that like thrived on being independent and like and unique is now just it was a shell of what it was already, but now just to see it completely destroyed, and to see so many people, because there were a lot of people working there, a lot of animators, a lot of writers and stuff, and just to see how all of them are out of jobs now just really sucks ass. I as much as I could blame Rooster Teeth itself for going down that path, it's absolutely mostly Warner's fault for what's happening here, and it sucks. Yeah, and they're ruining everything in general, and it sucks. And there's gonna be, because here's the thing: the entertainment industry is already in a bad spot. Video games are headed towards a crash, and it looks like all types of media are. Yeah, the Coyote versus Acme movie and stuff like that. I've been told it's not fully deleted yet, so it might still exist in some form, but it's so ridiculous that like this is just a thing that could happen with no consequence. But yeah, it's not good, and I'm not happy about it. Admittedly, I haven't watched, when it comes to Rooster Teeth specifically, I hadn't watched any of their content in quite a while. The only channel of theirs I was still watching was Inside Gaming, which was formerly The Know. It's like a gaming news channel, and even in the last couple months, when they wound it down, and it became like another Let's Play channel, which is some minor news sprinkled in. I was just like, this isn't what I was watching this channel for. So that's gone. I stopped watching Let's Play. Apparently the people that were doing Let's Play are going to like form a new thing, and they're still going to work on it. They're going to figure out a way to do it without the company, which again, the biggest issue is that like none of them are going to getting paid the same now as they were. So I don't know. It's rough, and if that were the worst thing that happened this week, then that would have been terrible on its own. But I mean, I was playing Chrono Trigger music during the break. The bigger thing that came out it came out 2 nights ago. Akira Toriyama passed away on the 1st of March, and the news just broke on the 7th, and yeah, that is fucking awful. I'll admit, when the news broke, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I was very, very upset. That's honestly why I was not here Thursday, because I knew that I would not be able to. Ooh, voice cracking. I knew that I would not be able to deliver the stream that I would want to do, and it was just, it was painful to think about. I mean, there's so much that can be said of that guy. They're like. Yeah, wasn't expecting to hear it before sleeping. Exactly, and it broke late because it broke Japan time, which was night for everyone else. I mean, I really don't know what I could say about the guy. Obviously, I don't know anything about how he was in his personal life or anything. But from what all of his colleagues say, he was an amazing person. He pretty much changed the face of media for decades. His work has influenced countless people's work since then, which has in turn influenced even more people. Like, I'm a big fan of Team 4-Star. Obviously, they would not have done what they did if Dragon Ball didn't exist. That sense of humor wouldn't have shaped my own sense of humor, just like Rooster Teeth. That sense of humor wouldn't have existed if they didn't exist. And, there's just a lot of direct influence from Toriyama himself on, stuff that I enjoy. Because, Dragon Ball is, probably my favorite anime series. I mean, admittedly, it wasn't the one that got me to start watching it. There were a couple before them, but it was the one that made it, mainstream for most people. And it's a huge cultural thing. Chrono Trigger, again, I didn't play it as a kid, but when the DS version came out, I loved it. I had no idea Toriyama worked on it at first. And then I looked at the art, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that is his art style. Haven't played any Dragon Quest games, but still, there's just, it's more than just what he did. It's the work he inspired. If people posted Mario and Sonic, both of those characters have influence from various works Toriyama did. Mario's run cycle in 3 when he's holding out his arms, that's Aralé's run from Dr. Slump. And then Sonic, Sonic has a ton of Dragon Ball influence in it. 7 Chaos Emeralds, the gold form, all that stuff, that's all taken directly from it. So yeah, it sucks. I'm definitely a little brokenhearted over it. Well, I mean, very brokenhearted, but I'm definitely, a little choked up over it. I got a lot of it out on that night that it happened, though. Yeah. From a medical standpoint, it was really hard to say if he could have been saved. I don't even remember what they said he died of. I know it was a problem, but again, this is the thing. This is very common, especially in the for mangakas, to exhaust yourself to death. It's a very rough and demanding industry, and if this could happen to someone who's elevated to a god level like Akira Toriyama, it could happen to anyone. Which I hope that if this means that if the industry's watching this, which they should be, not me, but I mean the situation, then hopefully we'll see some sort of labor reform in Japan for the treatment of how these mangakas are, because I feel like it seems to be a very common thing for them to be extremely overworked. I mean, look at I don't remember his name. Togashi? Who's the one that does Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter? He's pretty much had to stop because he's too injured. I think he wore his arm out. Togashi, yeah. He's pretty much not doing Hunter x Hunter anymore because he's just too injured from all the hard work he's been doing. But yeah, it's my only selfish hope is that if the long-standing rumor about the Chrono Trigger remake is real, if Square has been working on it for a while, I hope that Toriyama was able to contribute whatever he was going to contribute to it, and was aware of the project, because I think that would be, that'd be a great send-off for him. I'm hoping that that we'll see maybe some new art from him in that, if that game exists, if it was already done. That's a selfish pipe dream of mine, but I'm going to hold out hope until the day that a new Chrono Trigger game gets released. We thought of him when the news broke in fear of... Oh, yeah, Togashi, yeah. Yeah, he wasn't doing too well. But here's the thing, Togashi's taking steps to better his health, I think, so he might be all right. But, again, it's just how it is. And you know what? That's not something that's exclusive to Japan. In America, people are being overworked all the time. My sleep schedule's not great because I stream and do voice acting on top of working 40 hours a week. And it's not great. And honestly, this is kind of opening my eyes a bit that maybe I need to prioritize sleeping a bit more so that I don't run into any sort of medical troubles like that. Which, to be honest, I might already have medical problems. Who knows? Voice actor also died this week, too. Who? English or Japanese? Or a different language? But yeah, I mean, obviously it can't be understated how much Toriyama changed the face of media as a whole. If you haven't seen Dragon Ball, if you haven't seen the original Dragon Ball, I definitely highly recommend it. Even if you're not into like the high impact, super serious, even though it's not incredibly serious if you actually watch it, fighting of DBZ, the original Dragon Ball is such a fun adventure that I would wholeheartedly recommend either reading it in manga form or watching the anime of it, because the anime is just as good. It's all great. And, if you haven't played Chrono Trigger, then that's obviously another great recommendation. Japan, I think they were Maruko and Chibi Maruko-chan. I have not heard of that, but I'll look into it. Love the OG Dragon Ball. Yeah, I know. The funny thing is, in America, it aired after DBZ, or it aired while DBZ was still airing the Buu Saga here, so it was like we were kind of watching the beginning of the story while the end of the other second story was still going. So it was kind of interesting like that. So I have to finish Chrono Trigger. Oh man, it's such a good time. Chrono Trigger is such a great game. I've only streamed it once. I want to stream a New Game Plus playthrough where I get all the endings at some point. In fact, I might be down to just stream the actual game again, because when I streamed it the first time, that was when the laptop was starting to like break down. So like there's a bunch of slowdown and not fun segments in it. That's when I was still unemployed. Maybe at some point, if I have the time. Dragon Ball is extremely popular in France. Yeah, I mean, it had influence in European countries. It was huge in Mexico, huge in Latin America, it was huge in America. It played it had a very, and again, I'm not speaking for anyone specific. This is just what I've read. Obviously, I can't speak myself because I'm not black, but it had a huge impact in the black community. From what I've seen firsthand testimonies from people that say like this affected my life this way and this way, and it's just incredible how just Dragon Ball itself really like grasped the entire world and just made life better for everyone. So I remember seeing Vegeta on TV and hearing the DBZ English theme song Rock the Dragon, man, yeah, and seeing Goku and Aurelian Dr. Slump in Mexico. I still remember watching when Super ended, and I don't know which city it was. It might have been Merida. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Jess. Jess would know. They did that whole they just they didn't have the rights to stream it, but they did anyway. They streamed it for like a crowd of like 1 million people, and they treated that fight like a title fight, like an actual like boxing match. And it's wild to see the crowd like cheer for the characters in it and everything. It's so cool. And I mean, all that's just it's all just a testament to how great Toriyama was. I mean, granted, he wasn't as hands-on with Super as he was with the other series, but if it wasn't for him, the series wouldn't exist. And yeah, it's just really cool that his creations have gone on to inspire so much. Also, something I really like to point out about Toriyama, his design work in general is just so good. His character designs, his non-human designs, like his monster designs are in Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger and Dragon Ball, they're all great. But not only just those, but like his vehicle and his clothing designs are really, really cool too. Like he had that like trademark style where he draw the really small vehicles with like two or three seats in them, or like the single wheel, or like the tiny car, like a tiny golf cart, but it had like a good like car ceiling on it. Like those little vehicles were so cool. I love the designs of those. And then his clothing that he would design on characters looks like it looks weird when you're seeing it for the first time, but like after you like look at the whole thing for some of these, it's just like, oh, that's really cool. I always point out Trunks' jacket from the end of DBZ. That jacket, I'm like, that fit is awesome. I would fucking wear that. That with the sleeveless black shirt under it. Excellent. And, you know, that's kind of all there really is to say. Like, there's nothing but praise for the man. He gave the world many gifts that will not be wasted. His inspiration's already spread far across the world. So I think, you know, as a whole, the entertainment will be okay and will continue as it has. But, you know, the loss of someone great and the loss of companies that were doing good work and projects that were being done by good people, it's just all terrible. And I hope things change soon. I hope we can have an entertainment landscape worthy of carrying on Toriyama's like visions and inspiration. That's what I think. And you know, as for me, I haven't really gone into detail about this, but I've started. Well, I haven't started. I have the tools, but I want to practice drawing and get better at it, and like actually become something of an artist. Maybe not like super accomplished, but someone that just draws a lot. And I originally decided on that because someone I know passed away about 9 months ago. In fact, I think it'll be 9 months ago tomorrow. And you know, it took me until the end of last year to really fully process all of it. And I decided that I want to try drawing. And it's been a few months. I still haven't really gotten into it, but I'm going to try once I can manage to start, and I'm going to keep with it. And you know, with Toriyama gone now, I think I have someone else to, you know, look to for inspiration to guide my hand as I draw. So, you know, all I'm going to say is, you know, thank you, Mr. Toriyama, for all you gave to the world. It was amazing. It'll take time. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I'm not going into this with any sort of solid plan. I'm not going into this to become like a commission artist. I'm not going into it with the idea of becoming like a professional artist. I'm just doing this to draw. Losing someone you love is really hard. For the person that affected me, it wasn't someone that I didn't love them. I wasn't even friends with them, but it was someone that I knew about. It was someone that I knew. It was someone I talked to. And I just couldn't stand the thought of them being gone. So, you know, I just wanted to carry on in their stead. Even if I'm not necessarily the artist they were, you know. I could show you stuff too if you want. I appreciate any and everything that you want to show me. So, absolutely, you could do that. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be using any of it just yet, but yeah. And again, I don't want to go off on the tangent here. This isn't about me. This is about, you know, the shit that's gone down recently. But anyway, I think that's pretty much wraps it all up. I've spent almost 20 minutes talking about this. I'm gonna go ahead and kick off Persona 3. We actually have a little bit of news. I actually have a little bit of more news when I load it up, but let's keep that for Persona. Anyway, yeah, stuff sucks, but tell your loved ones that you care about them. Be there for them, and make sure you're supporting your artists. Tell them you like their work. Commission them if you can. Retweet their stuff, reblog their stuff, do whatever you're doing. Just support them, because they deserve it.